Hello, good morning, good afternoon, everyone.
Good morning. Sorry, I have the wrong link. Excuse me.
Hello.
Hi, Arabella. Good morning.
Hi, how are you? I had issues with my mic. Is it working now?
Yes.
Perfect, thank you. How are you, Laura? ¿Qué tal?
Fine. I recommend you to read the new Perfilito in the last book online. It is in English, Spanish, Portuguese, German, and French. And it is really changes in this Perfilito. I recommend you to read it.
Will
It's
do.
different from the Perfilito that you know.
Hi, Dr. Gawa, how are you?
Hello. Hi, fine, thanks. How are you?
Awesome. Is it warm in Malawi?
Not at the moment. It's actually I had just a heavy downpour of rain, so it's a bit cool. It's nice weather, I should say.
Good. Do we have Dr. Gawa, Gisela, Helen? Are we good?
Do you hear me well?
Yes, we can hear you. Welcome, Professor
Okay.
Gisela.
Hello, how are you, dear?
Oh,
Daniela.
yeah, I'm good. It's about you?
Everything fine.
Gisela, I can hear you. Is it just me?
That's good.
You can't or you can?
I can hear you.
Good morning, good afternoon to everyone. I want to give you a warm welcome to the Global Women's Breakfast. Our subject today is Accelerating Equity in Science. This event is organized by the Young and Early Career Scientists Working Group, which is part of the International Union of Soil Sciences. My name is Arabella Vega. I'm a soil scientist with an agronomy and ecology background, currently based in Costa Rica. And along with my dearest friends, Camila and Lila, we're going to be your hosts today.
Hello, everyone. My name is Kamila Kluczek, and I'm an environmental toxicologist and also a PhD student at the Goethe University in Frankfurt, Germany. We are here also together with Leila. She is from Iran and doing currently her postdoc research in Denmark.
Leila, are you there?
Okay, so today's event is dedicated to Diana Wall, who passed away last year. She was a distinguished professor, director of the School of Global Environmental Sustainability, and professor in the Department of Biology at the Colorado State University. She was a leading environmental scientist and soil ecologist. Her research explored how soil microbiota and invertebrate diversity contribute to health, fertile, and productive soils. Her research on soil biota, particularly soil nematodes, extend from agroecosystem to Antarctica. Not only an outstanding professional, but an inspiring human being. Thank you, Diana, for your legacy to soil ecology.
Now we're going to go to the questions to our panelists today. I want to introduce Camila. Hi. I'm sorry, but I think I have problems with my audio. Are you?
Okay, so this year we are honored to have speakers from all around the world. So let's just begin. Please welcome our first female president of the International Union of Soil Science, a Mexican soil scientist who has worked in teaching and promoting soil education as well as gender equality. Honor member of the Costa Rica and Spanish Soil Science Society, and also awarded by the Chinese, Brazilian, East and Southeast Asia Soil Science Societies. Professor Laura Berta Reyes Sanchez, please, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Camila. Do you please allow me to share the screen?
Of course.
Okay.
Yes.
Let me know if you can see my screen.
Yes, we can see it.
Perfect.
Okay, thank you. Good morning to everybody around the world. It is a real honor to me to share this this special breakfast, women breakfast around the world with you. Historically, we, women, have faced multiple barriers over the centuries, and overcoming them has caused the blood, tears, and lives of hundreds of thousands of women who have broken the barriers that were imposed on them and have won for us rights that we must continue to defend today, because what has been gained can't also be lost if we don't fight to preserve it, and that is what is happening today in many places around the world. Therefore, our challenge today is twofold, because we must defend what has been gained, but at the same time, work really hard to break down the barriers in front of us. To do so, we need to understand that gender equity and equality in science is not just about to have more female scientists around the world, and that promoting gender equality in science does not mean that the number of male and female scientists should be equal, but that opportunities should be equal for everyone. Gender equity, therefore, consists of guaranteeing an inclusive and equitable environment for all through all our actions and activities to ensure equity, equality, and diversity by offering the same opportunities for all. A fundamental part of equity and equality in science, as in life, is the recognition of our individuality and therefore respect for the diversity of each other that allow us to really be inclusive. That is why fundamental part of the equity must be the rejection of practices that lead to the encouragement and reinforcement of discriminatory behaviors based on such factors as ethnic origin, religion, citizenship, language, political or other kind of opinion, sex, gender identity, sexual orientation, disability, or our age. And how can we promote gender equity in science to break down existing gaps? Well, first, as women and as a scientist, we have a moral obligation to ourselves to practice sorority and offer respect for each other in order to close all gaps against us, because the social representations around how our cognitive and intellectual capacities and skills to generate scientific knowledge are interpreted based on our gender largely depend on being capable to be clear that being a woman does not mean being less capable of doing science, or if we sabotage ourselves when we act against each other instead of supporting each other. That is the main and biggest barrier that we have before us today. And that is why equity must be prioritized as a central component of education for all and at all levels, as a fundamental part of real efforts to overcome all gender gaps and a means of achieving inclusion for all. An education that does not seek to fix girls and women because we are not broken or less capable. I am talking then about an education capable of offering girls and young women from birth, within families and especially in schools and universities, the same sets of concepts, knowledge, support, and recognition, with the clear objective of eliminating underlying gender biases. The lack of female scientists, especially in positions of responsibility, not only limits the contributions of 50% of the talent to research and innovation, but also causes gender bias and many investigations that can lead to erroneous knowledge or discriminatory developments. And that is why encouraging girls to believe in their intelligence is a priority. We, as mothers, sisters, teachers, tutors, researchers, and scientific societies members, are the ones who must support and defend the girls and women in our environment so that they can develop as equals to their male counterparts, and so that they can understand that science is a real possibility of choice for all of us and not an insurmountable obstacle. It is all of you, the young scientists, who must be the agents of the necessary change, breaking down the barriers to accelerating equity in science. I invite all of you to be those women who will change accompanied by men of open mentality, encouraging equity and inclusion as indispensable elements to break gender barriers. I invite all of you, the young scientists, the young people around the world, I invite you to be female leaders and open-minded men who become mentors and true examples of equity and a source of inspiration for the next generations. Thank you for allowing me to share with you these words.
Thank you very much for your presentation about accelerating equity. It is good to remember that we as a woman do not mean less, especially in science.
Yes.
Leila, we cannot hear you. Oh, yes.
Hi, everyone. I'm Leila Jahanbazi, and I'm happy to be your host today and presenting Iranian woman in soil science. I'm also doing postdoc in Aarhus University in Denmark. Sorry for problem at the beginning. I had a problem for connection. And now I just wanted to mention this year, we have a speaker from different parts of the world. And I believe their different and diverse perspective and expertise in the science will bring brilliant discussion to our today meeting. I also wanted to mention that we have time for question. Please take advantage and go ahead for ask question.
And now we're going to begin with our guest speakers, and I'm very honored to present Dr. Tiwonge Sumara-Gawa. She's an ornithologist, ecologist, and conservation biologist. She's a lecturer in the Biological Science Department at the Malawi University of Science and Technology. She holds a PhD in ecological sciences and a master's degree in conservation ecology. Her research interests are various, but one which I would like to highlight is her interest in ecosystem management and restoration. She's also interested in engaging with policymakers to ensure that science better informs policy. Welcome, Dr. Gawa. I have a question for you. Please let me know that you're hearing us okay.
Thank you. I hope you can hear me. Okay.
Yes, perfect. So the first question I want to direct to you, in your experience, what are the current challenges for girls and women to access science and technology in Africa, and what has been your experience in Malawi? Dr. Gawa, the floor is yours.
Thank you very, very much. So my experience from Malawi and a little bit also from Africa, from my work, in the neighboring countries, we of course have the cultural barrier. You know, and everyone knows we have that deep understanding that is still with us, that there are certain things that are for women and there are certain things that are for males. And because that was there, obviously, a lot of young girls, young women are seeing certain things only being done by men and certain things are only being done by something from women. So that cultural barrier is there. I must say, though, there's been quite a lot that has been done and a lot of projects that have been put forward to try and counter this. And I think in some fields, we are seeing that change, because of the messaging. We know the younger generation that's coming know that they shouldn't be limited to what they can do. But obviously, in terms of role modeling is where they don't have a chance. Maybe they can hear that you can do this, but they don't see any people from their homes or from around them that are doing those things. Because in Malawi, at least, most of these spaces are still a stronghold for men. So even now, I go into some meetings and I sit in a biodiversity or ecology kind of meeting, and I can count the woman 1 and 2 there, and the majority, everybody else, is men. So you can see that it means in the spaces, even in the schools that these girls are in, they're not seeing that gender in in these spaces where they are being told that they should be. And I feel that one of the challenges is also, like for Malawi, for example, 80% of our population is in the rural areas. So these girls and women that we want to be to take on the science and technology, a large percentage of them are in these rural places. Sadly, these rural places, the schools they're going to are not equipped to attract science and technology. They may not even have a science lab in there or that opportunity to learn. So when they encounter them at a higher level in university or maybe at secondary school, it can be overwhelming. You've never seen that pipette, you've never seen this, and chemistry all of a sudden it's this thing that, oh, they use all this glassware. It's a scary thing because they haven't experienced it at that level in the rural areas because the schools are not equipped to have that. So I feel those challenges, like as much as we're addressing the messaging and ensuring that girls know that they can do these fields in science and they can pursue careers in technology, we need to do the same effort to ensure that they encounter that science and that technology at a much younger level. So it's not an overwhelming subject to them.
Thank you very much, Dr. Gawa. I'm very pleased that you mentioned the rural environments and the big challenge that these represent, getting in touch with actual science lab and soils lab in our case specifically. I'm just going to ask a last question because I think the subject is really open to this. How, as professionals, you and I and the rest of the public that we have here, how can we encourage? How could we make this gap even smaller so that we can get to encourage young girls and women, especially in Africa, that I know that you have had lots of experience, to get actually involved in environmental sciences? What is our job? What do you think is the task that we must take to diminish this gap?
Yeah, and I think it is our responsibility. We should each, for me, I feel individually in every space that we are. I think I shared once with you as well about that. Like for me, whenever I have the opportunity for a research grant, I make sure that I take on a student, an undergraduate student with me to come on as an assistant or even somebody who's just finished their secondary school to come on and I budget for this in my grants because I want to make sure that there's room for that person to come and see, because I think that's the best way for them to learn, to see you or if each of us as we're doing our work and we have that younger person there learning and seeing as well. And I think when we start there, we have a great opportunity. The second level is to mention it. So to question whenever there's opportunities. Like for me, again, I'll give my example again, is when something comes across my desk and there is this training or there is this opportunity for an exchange student, and I see, oh, these are the students that are going, and I say, oh, how many girls do we have on that? Do we have the same number of girls as boys? So all those opportunities where we have a chance to give our voice and to say and to change, because naturally maybe they will take the top 10 students in the classroom and they are all boys, and for them it's sensible to say this is an opportunity, we're taking the top 10 students in the class, but it's not if all those are boys. I say no, then take the top 5 boys, the top 5 girls, to make sure that we have girls also represented in that forum. So I feel we have that, each and every one of us must take that responsibility, that I must be that influence, that person that makes it possible for another young woman, a young girl who take on science and technology. And I must make sure I speak in the spaces, but also for the opportunities that I create, I bring in these people into my space so they see me working and I am the role model.
Thank you very much. And I just wanted to add an additional question since we have a little time. Can you highlight or can you mention the role of girls and women in agri-food systems in Malawi and what's the importance? Because I think that is your late research has deepened in this subject. So I would like to profit the opportunity of having you here.
Yes, yeah. So, for us, I like I said, I'm an ecologist. I worked a lot in the forests and natural environments, and recently through the FSNet network, I was given the opportunity to do my work in smallholder farming communities. And I think you see very clearly how the importance that the work that women do, especially if you look at the groundwork in the fields, in smallholder farmers, they are there, they are doing the work, and they're doing. But when you work with the extension workers, so had the opportunity to visit some of the extension workers and the lead farmers that they work with, and you find that majority of these lead farmers are male. And and you ask, I said, okay, why isn't that when we're in the field, though, it is men, even the girls, the women, they're bringing their children and they're doing this work. But I honestly feel that, if we can empower from that level, even of the extension workers working in the field and creating the lead farmers to also be women, they have influence. I always say, I think, as women, there is that opportunity in terms of if you want to pass on something, women have more opportunities in their groupings and in the working that they do to pass on things that they learn to other women and to other people. So they may not be in that village, but they will pass on the things that they have learned and they go on. And especially when we talk about food systems, we look at food at the home. As much as in the rural setting, there is that belief that, the man is the one that provides. Usually, it is the woman who is responsible to make sure that the family eats that day. So even if they don't provide, they're the ones that are going to go out and look and say, what can I find and what can I be? And I think this is some of the work that we're doing with women to say, creating those gardens, how they find it so important to have those gardens at home, at their house, and have different types of vegetables that are, wild, not the kind of vegetable that you need to go buy the seed in the shop or anything, but that you find usually wild in your garden. But all you're doing is now moving it from that field and bringing it closer to your home, growing as a flower or something around your homestead. But you know that this is food or a vegetable that I can cook for my family for food. There's a number of these type of vegetables that we have in Malawi that are traditional, we can say, vegetables that will usually, when you do your farming, they will naturally sprout in your gardens. But there's these opportunities, and by doing that, you're securing nutrition as well for that family and for bringing this simple education to these women, because it matters. Because if you tell this to the man who doesn't really do the preparation of the food at home, he doesn't understand that, that vegetable that you eat, I go and collect in the garden there, but I can also grow it here. So it makes all the difference when you really, I can say, up to just boost the role that they already have, the things that they have, just bringing that more power into their hands, and that they know that they can be able to do these things and fulfill the things that are usually most precious to them, and that is their children, their families, that they have food on the table, and something that they can provide for them.
Thank you very much, Dr. Gawa. For me, this is key, but because in Latin America, girls and women play exactly the same role in nurturing the family and taking care of the cultural heritage. So I appreciate very much your input, appreciate your participation, and we're ready for our next guest speakers. Thank you so much, Dr. Gawa.
Yeah.
I'm pleased to introduce you. Sorry. Yeah, I'm pleased to introduce you the next speaker, and woman in soil science from larger European region, from Turkey. Selen Devin Sajin, she is an associate professor in Department of Soil Science and Plant Nutrition from Ankara University. She is expertise in soil and water conservation and management, and also different agricultural multidisciplinary research part. Please join me in welcoming Selen Sajin, that I'm sure her heavy suitcase in soil science will bring us interesting discussion today. Dr. Selen, the floor is yours.
Thank you. I have a presentation. Can I share with you? Okay.
Yeah, of course.
Can you see?
Yes.
Yeah. Just a minute. Okay. Thank you, my dear colleagues. I am Selan from Ankara University. You introduced me. I can pass some slides for that. I am as a soil scientist as like you. I would like to talk about some opportunities for soil scientists, women soil scientists in Turkey and Eurasia region, larger Eurasian region. But my presentation mostly focused on Turkey because I have no reliable data for larger Eurasian region. But I try to focus on some our international students also these regions. One opportunity in Turkey, increasing educational access for soil science departments. 20 university in Turkey offers soil science education as a part of agricultural engineering. Our graduates can work both as an agricultural engineer and also soil scientist. The Ankara University is the first established university offering soil science in Turkey, and 20 university in Turkey, but 10 of them having higher academic impacts. Our graduates can find some jobs in various fields, with both public or private sectors. Women in soil scientists mostly prefer to work for Ministry of Agriculture and Forestry departments, and also other public institutions. We can say State Hydraulic Works, Turkish Grain Board, and municipalities also having increasing trends for women scientists, soil scientists. Private sectors, also soil analysis laboratories, is a good option for women soil scientists, and also organic farming enterprises, environmental consultancy firms. In addition to that, foreign research centers also hire some soil scientists in Turkey. In Turkey, for not national, also international researchers having good scholarships and funding opportunities, and Horizon Europe projects, EGP soil projects in Turkey. The main scientific organization is TÜBİTAK, Scientific and Technological Research Council of Turkey. Have some programs for international researchers. I put some internet view also links if you want to later investigate these programs. These programs support young postdoctoral researchers, doctoral researchers, internationally come and work in Turkey, Turkish universities. For example, TÜBİTAK WAITRO programs, between WAITRO member countries and Turkey. They support PhD and postdoctorate students for working on sustainable development goals. The other programs is TÜBİTAK TVAS programs for researchers from developing countries and want to come to Turkey and work natural and applied science area. Soil science includes also in these areas. Also, some bilateral agreements can be used for foreign researchers. For example, TÜBİTAK Uzbekistan fellowship programs. TÜBİTAK is the main organization in Turkey to get some promotions, some finding scholarships for international students, also national soil scientists. I put some pictures, some females soil scientists work our department in 2024. Radia from Algeria work under my supervision, working on soil erosion. Zeynep from Egypt, now she's working on soil macroplastics. Kanon and Hinako from Japan. We have some good collaborations, Niigata University, and also Belgium, Ghent University, students exchange programs. Now our soil scientists, researchers, soil scientists and graduate students, some Ezgi, Gözde, Batuhan, right now in Japan. In Turkey, international collaboration and networks have good opportunities for soil scientists and also for postdoc research. The Higher Education Council gives some good funding for making the science facilities. The pictures, one on the left is mine, the other is our department researchers, Hanife and Duygu. They work also Japan Niigata University. Duygu now is continue her PhD students in there. Not just Ankara University, the other universities also have some for international students good opportunities. The left picture from Ege University having summer school students. Sema is now online our panel. Also work in the University of Nebraska, work on soil wind erosion processes for postdoc research as a postdoc researcher. These all activities mostly support Higher Education Council or TÜBİTAK sources, and these are all having gender equality plan and try to get a balance among employers, member of panels, committees, and external reviewers or scholarships, and also to combat some sexual harassment, discrimination, violence, same things. All universities in Turkey also affiliated higher education councils and all have gender plans and try to monitor the situations and improve a system to get gender balance in publicly in academic levels. This affects the women soil scientists makes more visible in conferences, awards, or leadership roles. Also, I put some pictures. The left pictures are departments from our departments from soil days. In 2015, we celebrate these days and organized by female academicians in our departments also. As a good example, for example, Soil Science Society of Turkey has been led by female presidents since 2009. But we looked to 30 years ago, soil science in Turkey was a field preferred and studied mainly by men due to heavy field works or social barriers, I don't know. But however, today this balance in Turkey has evolved into opposite trend and female researchers, especially in soil biology, biochemistry, biotechnology, plant nutrition have begun to shape soil science in Turkey. Similarly, more tough study areas, soil physics, soil erosion studies also increased women's role day by day. But the number of female researchers in land survey mapping studies are quite low. This area is now man's world, not women's world. If I summarize the challenge women in soil science, yeah, academically we get 45% female rate, but in soil science this rate is more lower. When we look to universities, female academics in soil science departments, at the most 43, the last 0. Some departments has no female, for example, academics. Based on the members of Soil Science Society of Turkey, 35% member are women. In universities, in publicly have good options to promote women's participation, but in private sector, also some public areas, there is no system to encourage and oversee this balance in the working conditions of our graduates, female graduates. Yes, we know soil science involves extensive field work, remote areas, posing logistical safety issues, family responsibilities in Turkey, especially unequal distribution of household duties, limits the women's soil scientist careers advancement, but addressing this challenge is essential for fostering greater gender equity in soil science across Turkey. Yeah, if you have any additional question.
Dr. Salim, thank you so much for your presentation. It was really interesting for me that you draw our attention both for international opportunity to collaboration with Ankara University in Turkey, and
Yes.
also at the same time gender equality plan. That is really important that you are doing follow-up in your university. I have a question for you. It's about what was the biggest challenge as a soil science student in your journey, academic journey, to transition to be like associate professor, and what was the biggest challenge there for you?
In fact, I don't have any discriminative things in my academic career life. This is chance, maybe I don't know, but I am not a good example for going my academic career without my gender.
Okay. So you didn't have any challenge to like transfer from being a student to the academic like position. It was easy and nice.
Yeah, easy, but social structure is important point. Some regions, some cities, social discriminative things make the women's the back. Yeah, but not all over the Turkey, but this situation.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Salim.
You're welcome.
Okay, and now, last but not least, let's invite Professor Gisela de Arrago Umbuziero from Brazil, a renowned expert in environmental toxicology with a global experience. She worked with National Institute of Environmental Health Science or the Environmental Protection Agency. She is also a member of Experts Advisory Group of UNESCO, and at the same time, she's a really warm person and a wife, mother, and grandmother. Well, her work continues to inspire and lead the way for future innovations in science. Please join me in welcoming Professor Gisela de Arrago Umbuziero.
Oh, guys, thank you very, very much.
You're
for
welcome.
this wonderful introduction. And let me share my slides. I have a little bit. And let's see, where is this here? Okay. Yes. So let me know when you see it.
Now we can see it.
Yes, but then I need to put this in this other mode.
The view.
Here. Is this good? Yes?
Yes, it's the full
Okay.
screen.
Yes. So I was really glad that I was invited. I was in Germany the last 2 months, and then I met Camilla, and then this was really interesting, this invitation. So thank you very much, and thank you for the other talks. They were really interesting. Okay, so I'm going to talk a little bit in a different way, looking maybe to my retrospective life, considering I am 68 years old. So I will just share with you some of my experience, what happened in my career, and what I think the lessons could be, or some inspiration, maybe can be an inspiration for other women and girls. Okay, so I did my technical course in 72 to 75. So as you can see, you guys were not even being planned. Maybe your mothers were not born yet, but anyway. So then I went to study biology, and then I decided to go for my master, and then followed by the PhD. And it took me 9 years to do that. And in the meantime, I got married, had 2 daughters, right? One in 81 and another one in 84. And I must say this was really challenging. And but I didn't have any chance in my life to think I would need to quit. I always said, I'm going to be a wonderful mother, take care of my daughters, take care of my husband, as everybody suppose that you should be doing it, but I will continue my career. And this was something that it was hard, but I think it was possible. And when I look back, I think it was a lot of fun at the end. Okay, then in 1986, I joined CETESB. It was the Environmental Protection Agency of São Paulo. It's a big agency, and there I was being a mother of young kids, then teenagers, and also a leader of the toxicology department. So I was a lot of times, I was just working, and then I was just escaping to my apartment in order to take my kid to do Olympic gymnastics, and then I would come back. So those things that we do that we don't know why, but this was the way I decided to try to live my life. But I was happy because I found a job. In Brazil, it's hard to find jobs, and I had a very nice job for this 22 years. But my dream, since I was, in the biology course, was to be a professor at university. And then I never had the opportunity. Here in Brazil, it's very hard to find a place. And then finally, when I was 52, there was an opening to the University of Campinas, where I used to work. I met when I was a student here at the University of Campinas. I remember imagining one day I'm going to this campus as a professor, and I dreamed about that little thing that you put in your window of your car to say you are from Unicamp. I remember this was kind of my dream. And then finally, when I was 52, I joined the University of Campinas to be a professor there. And this was really amazing to me. I was so happy. You guys don't imagine how much I worked, and this for the last 16 years, right? Now I'm a little bit tired, I must say. But during that time, it was really why I like it, because the university gives you freedom. And I really like that feeling. So at that age, I was being a grandmother, and I love to be a grandmother. It's very special. I was coordinating projects, teaching, advising students, and trying to be my best, as a kind of a old professor, right? Young in the field, but old in age. Okay. And then today, I am a full professor, so I was able to go to beginning as an assistant professor and to a full professor. I have a laboratory, the Laboratory of Ecotoxicology and Genotoxicity. If you go to this web page, if you put LAEG Unicamp, you're going to find us, and you're going to see we have lots of women there. I don't know, maybe because biology is something that it's more related to girls. At least in Brazil, we have this thing. But I have lots of women, although we have men. And I must say that I love the diversity. I think women and men, they have different ways of doing things. And I think this is the beauty of being together. I don't think women should be like men or act like men or vice versa. It's just the idea of the diversity. I like it very much. One of the speakers said about this, we want equal opportunities, and then let's see what's going to happen. And I think it's so nice to have this way of being a woman. Being a woman as a boss is different as a man. We have different ways of doing things, and I think the mixture is what is really nice. Well, I also had a lot of opportunities of internationalization. I was a visitor professor at NIHS in the States, US EPA, then North Carolina State University, including now I am acting as adjunct professor there. So we have a very strong collaboration for more than 20 years. So this is really nice, I think, to keep up with this international colleagues, and then my students can go back and forth. So I'm very glad that I have a lot of friends all around the world. Also, I was invited to be a member of this international initiative on water quality at UNESCO. This was also another perspective of my work. Then this was really challenging to participate in the IARC monographs. This is another word and a lot of responsibility. So what happens when you start going to other places and reaching more responsibilities? Also, the fear to be good enough. I don't know if you guys have felt this, but for me, this is a constant thing. Even I am old now, and I say I'm old in a nice way. I like to be old. I think it's okay. But I still have fear of being the best that I can everywhere that I go. So I think this is what motivates us to continue, right? Of course, I published a lot of articles. Usually, I think publications must be a consequence of a work that we do with your students. I advised hundreds of students and also participate in international projects, including projects financed from the European community, also a lot of conferences. And I travel a lot, and I stimulate my students to do the same, because this is how we learn, how we open our minds and start thinking out of the box. So I think this is really nice to do, but I think especially publications, they must be a consequence. If you just pursue them because of the number, I think this is very bad. I like the idea that you have a group, and in my laboratory, we have like a rule. Some students don't like that very much, but the rule is we always say we did it. If we succeed, we did it. If we failed, we failed. I think this commitment to your group, this is very nice. Then you feel supported, and if your thesis does not go the way you like it, you can join other projects and be co-authors, and we as a team can continue to advance. And there is another aspect of my life that I want to share with you, because people always say, well, she must be very serious. She must be very, work a lot and do not do other things. This is not true, because I'm a tango dancer, a samba dancer, forró dancer. I love to dance. So I always, when I travel around the world, my husband now is retired. He comes with me, and we explore all that thing during my trips, my business trips. But you can do a lot more and learn culture and other things. Well, and this is another very special thing that we did. I published 2 books for kids about pollution and about toxicology. And this is here my daughter on the left. This was the guy that illustrated this book. But this is my daughter. She was pregnant with my granddaughter Camilla, and we published this book about it's about art, it's about appreciation of the environment. The book is for kids of all ages. It glows in the dark, and it's about a story about a synergistic relationship from a squid and a bacteria. And at the end, everything goes bad because pollution comes and disrupt this wonderful relationship. So this is what we wanted to show in this book. And this is nice because I'm not a writer, but I would like to send some message to the kids. I believe kids should be our goal, to teach them, to make them aware of the beauty of the environment, of the beauty of discovering things. And then they can be stimulated, no matter if they are girls or boys or whatever gender it is, because today there are so many recognized, and I really respect that. So it doesn't matter. We need a lot of diversity. We need everybody to go there and think about what we can do to make a better place to live here in this world. And the other book also, what of course my daughter was the writer, and we published about toxicology. We wanted, so we have those books also in Portuguese and in English. They are available, both of them, at the internet, at the Amazon. And this book we tried to show young, or maybe kids a little bit older, about the concept of the dose, that dose matters, and then we can do a lot about this in order to understand how to protect the environment without being deprived of doing the things that we need to take care of our houses, our family, and so forth. And so this is me. I think that the combination of being a mother, grandmother, wife, and a researcher at the same time is challenging, but it's possible. Professional life does not exclude family and fun time. I really think this is the key, and this should be the key for men as well. We should do those things more, in an easiest way, with a lot of laugh, also with a lot of hard work. If you ask my students, they are going to say, I'm tough in the lab, I'm really tough, I know, but this is it. We need to be tough, but also to recognize that we have a life, and the life in the lab, and the life as a student, the life as a woman, it must be fun. And so I believe my life was joyful and fruitful, and I feel blessed by this wonderful international career, where I met super nice people that became not only my research partners, but also my friends. I have several friends during my lifetime, and this is really neat. So what I would say, I think I'm on already, my time is over, but I just want to say that, this is my email. If you want to talk to me, just drop me a message. I will be glad to share anything with you. And my final message is that, let's go for it, and go for what you believe, and never give up, because there's always a drawback, but always a way to move forward. And I think this is the idea. And being a woman, if you ask me, is it more difficult? I think it is. I think it's more difficult, but then it's more challenging. So, I'm always thinking that, we have only this life to live. I'm not a man, I am a woman. So let's make it the best we can. So this is what I feel about being a woman in science. So thank you very, very much for your attention.
Thank you so much. It's really wonderful how you have been able to combine your academic work and family responsibilities at the same time, and moreover, combine it with such a synergy. So I would have a question for you. What was the biggest challenge you faced at that time when you were at the beginning of your scientific career, and what it will be an advice later for the young woman scientists?
Yes, the first, I think the most difficult thing to me is when I finished my master, starting my PhD, I really wanted a position. I wanted a position at the university, and I couldn't find it. And there was other people that were hired, and not me. They weren't that good as me. I don't know why, but there was a lot of political things. I don't think it was because I was a woman. It was just wasn't my time at that time. But I really wanted to be a researcher. This was the dream of my life. And then I couldn't find a position. And then I went to work with this environmental protection agency. It was really good, but I was always trying to squeeze researching my job, and they weren't very happy about it because this wasn't exactly the job they wanted me to do, and this was correct. I was wrong, but I wanted so much, so I waited and waited, and then I finally got it when I was 52. So guys, if you don't have a position yet, you can keep trying because there is time. To me, it was the most difficult thing to accept that I needed to wait so much, but at the end it worked. So that's my biggest challenge, I think.
I see. Thank you so much once again.
So thank you, everyone, both our speakers and audience. Now we have a few minutes for questions. Let's see if we have some questions in the public discussion.
So we remind our assistants, you can write your questions in the chat, or you can contact us through the Facebook that it's live streaming. Belén Moya, veo que tienes una pregunta. ¿La quieres escribir en el chat o quieres que abra el micro?
¿Puedo abrir por el micrófono?
Ok, adelante.
Okay. Hi, everyone. I just have a question. Well, thank you all for your presentations. I do have a question for Professor Gisela. And
Yes.
I don't know if she can hear me.
Yes, I can hear you.
Well, thank you. It's like, I think it was really inspirational, all your talk in how you became a professor at 52. I'm really impressed by the passion and that you keep saying that you were always trying. I think just my question is maybe an advice, because it was also a really well, not really, a bit hard for me to find a job as a researcher, and now that I have it, I think it was like really important for me to decide what I wanted to do. And listening to you saying that you wanted to be a researcher and that you kept trying and that you finally did it, just maybe an advice to younger generations. Thank you.
Yes. Yeah, but I must say that being a researcher is not that dream, After I joined at university, I realized that there is a lot of very annoying things, And in general, people from the university, they have, because I think people involved in research is not so fond of money, of being, making a lot of money, but they have a big ego. So it's not easy, to know how to handle all this. So we are always learning. But I think if you like to discover things, just keep doing, even if the money is really, I know we can live with a lot of difficulties in terms of money and be happy. And this we need to learn, because sometimes we know I need that. And my father was always saying, you are so smart. You need to have a job that makes a lot of money. I said, I don't want that. And then I think sometimes it's better, to have a simple life, but to do what you want. And if you don't feel like doing it, just quit and go for another thing. This is the idea. But it's very nice to be a researcher because of the freedom. This is really good.
Thank you so much, Gisela and Belen. Do we have another question from the public? Is there anyone else? If there is not, we have a couple of questions that we would like to address. Selen, Gisela, and Tiwange, whoever wants to answer, we have a general question that we're very interested. How did you deal with language barriers? And have you had the experience of language barriers, since you don't come from English speakers country, either of us? What was the language barrier that you faced? What was the most challenging? And if you have had experience with including native languages in your work development in general, in your career. So whoever, Gisela, Selen, Tiwange, if you want to open your mic, please go ahead.
Me?
Language.
So nobody. Okay, who is?
Selen, go ahead, Selen.
Okay,
and
go
then
ahead, Selen.
Gisela. Yeah.
Language is a problem. Yeah, we are not native speakers. Sometimes we try to explain the some things as, but yeah, sometimes I feel as a barrier language. Yeah, yes, true. But we get lots of course in my early career times, and also writing. As a tip, maybe I can recommend to younger scientists. Writing is a good way to learn or to understand the scientific era. Yeah, writing is a good good opportunity for me. I can write good. I'm a good writer, but when I speak, sometimes I change the times. I always use simple times, sometimes just past times. Yeah, language is a barrier for any scientist. I understand, but I can recommend them to work on it, and writing is a good options. More writing makes better the situation for me, at least.
Thank you very much. Gisela,
So I have
do you
also
want
a
to?
question. Okay. Okay, is there an answer from Gisela or?
Well, just to say that I think that we need to learn. We need to learn from the very beginning that we need English. I don't like that idea. I would prefer not, but I think this is the idea better than learning Chinese, right? It's
Yeah.
easier English. So let's take the English.
Yes.
And I think that we need to try to communicate. Don't become shy because your English is not good enough. We don't need to speak as a native English. We need to speak as someone that is trying to communicate. And I think if you want to have an international career, you need to communicate. So you need the English. There is no way to get rid of this. This is my thinking.
Thank you, Gisela. Laura, did you wanted to share something else?
Maybe only last message about the language. Obviously, for us in Latin America, speaking Spanish and Portuguese people, it is a great barrier. However, we can do it. When we want to do, we can do it. Finally, I want to share with all of you in this global breakfast celebrating Diana Wall that when, as president of the USS, we succeed in forming the USS Young Scientists Working Group with the Soil Science Societies of Poland and Mexico supporting me. Together, we broke a great barrier, not only within the USS, but within all soil science societies around the world. And I think you need to know about this, because the response, the answer of all of you around the world has managed to make scientific society see not only the error of not having included you earlier, you, the young scientists, but also the enormous potential that you, the young scientists, have, and what you can achieve with your inclusion, bringing us all the soil science societies. You are the generation called to renew the leadership in all soil science societies, indeed, in all sciences. You are the scientists, researchers, teachers, and leaders of the future, and I am sure that you will succeed in breaking many more barriers within the soil science, maybe in other sciences. Then I again invite you to do so and bequeath to future generations an equitable and strongly inclusive science. I invite you again to dream about what you want to be and do in life. Visualize how you will achieve it, set your objectives and goals, and fight to achieve them without listening to anyone who tells you that you cannot achieve it. I hope you can do it and you will be a better generation. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Laura. So I have also a question for Tunge and Professor Gaba Tunge. It's like that as a women, what is your suggestion for young scientists for joining to the networking events? Because many of women, especially young moms, don't have opportunity to join to these events. And so what's your suggestion to help them to stay connected with the networks?
It is an open question?
I
don't
just asked it
understand.
from Professor Gaba. Professor
okay.
Gaba, yeah. I don't know if she can answer. If not, maybe someone else. Okay, I think she's not online now. I couldn't see her.
Yes, you have
So
a
maybe someone else. Yeah.
you have a comment in the chat.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
There is a
perhaps I can
question.
I can read the question and maybe one of our guest speakers can answer.
Do you want
at
us to answer your other question or no? The question about
Yeah,
how
I
to
think.
pick up? Yeah.
Yeah,
Is that good?
Because
Well,
we don't
I
have enough
think,
time, maybe short answer would be really nice to
yeah,
that
I think
question.
go into meetings. The more meetings you go, the more
Okay.
you learn. This is my idea.
Okay. Thank you. So let's go to the chat, the question in the chat.
Oh. Can you hear me now? I was just changing devices.
Dr. Tiwange, thank
Yes.
you. If you can answer Lila's question, we can go ahead.
Hello?
Yes, we are hearing
If you
you.
can, okay, if you can just repeat the question. I think I wasn't getting the message, the audio.
Yes, so I was asking as a woman or maybe just as a mom or wife, how do you like face with this challenge of the networking and joining to the conference? Because sometimes it's not easy to join to these conferences and meeting. What is your suggestion for young researchers?
Yeah. No, I think I'm also a supporter of we need to make our conferences more open to welcoming, because I think for me, I never had the opportunity where I could take my children when they were young, and I had twins, so bring, to, and I think until they were a year, above a year for me to rejoin. I would say, for young scientists to also fight for these opportunities. I think it's becoming better where you can get grants to support you to bring your child along. But if not, then, the same steps that I did, you sometimes have to accept that there are some things you can't do at a certain time. But once you are able to, please go, because I think, as the previous speaker was saying, it's really, really important to get into these meetings and network and form the connections that you need in order to advance your career. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. We have also a question from a chat from a woman scientist who is nearing to complete her PhD. And the question to our guest speakers is for any advice and guidance on the next step, what we should do, particularly in network or research position. So it would be great to know more about this if any of you can say a word. Maybe Professor Laura, would you like to answer this question?
Yeah, I think it is difficult to have offer only one answer, because the conditions in every situation in every country is very different. However, I recommend this Artejet Mosaba, that it is, excuse me if I am speaking no well his name, but I think it is about to look forward for a mentor possible, for a tutor, to introduce her, I don't know if it is women or men, to introduce them in the camp, in the situation that he or she can to develop. Because I don't know if in this message he or she is saying that he is finishing his PhD. However, I don't know if he's in the future, she or he is visualizing him or her as a teacher, as a researcher, as a, I don't know. Then maybe first she or he needs to think about what are their goals, what are their final objectives to achieve answers for himself or herself. I recommend to introduce maybe in different universities, different scientific institutions, looking for obviously, okay, thank you, it is a girl, thank you, okay. Introducing her in different congresses, looking for people helping her, writing documents to present his thinking, his development, his research, his results, etc. I think it is very difficult, especially in this moment, because there are lack of work. However, it is not impossible if she has clear what it is looking for.
Thank you so much, Laura. We want to thank you all, our guest speakers, Gisela, Selene, Tiwonge, Laura, and as as hosts, we want to give a final motivational message. Camille, if you want to begin.
Of course.
Excuse me, one more thing. I am remembering this moment. The USS, the International Union of Soil Science, and many other societies, like especially Spanish Soil Science Society, Poland Soil Science Society, Chile and Mexican Soil Science Society, has every month in his website an alert publicizing all opportunities for works, for to do theses, for different projects, research projects, etc. There, maybe this girl can't read this alert in the USS website, in the Mexican, Chilean, Spanish, especially Spanish Soil Science Societies offer every month in his website a lot of different possibilities for people in soil sciences. Excuse me.
No, it's fine. It's important also information to take. So thank you so much for this advice. I would like to say the final message for you. I think it's really important to remember, like, together, we as women in science, we are not only breaking barriers, but also we are shaping the future with our knowledge, with the passion that we have. And I would like to say to everyone, do not be afraid of your future.
Yes, thank you everyone for being here today. I also wanted to mention that we are women in science. We dare to dig deeper and we challenge boundaries. And I think our courage and also limitless potential are seeds of the change. So I think we should keep growing, and we should remember always that what we can affect in the future is bigger than what we think today.
Historically, women have fed, nurtured, and shaped societies. Now it's time for women to feed, nurture, and shape sciences for a better and more sustainable future. I would like to invite you all to open your cameras if you're okay with it, and we can take a final picture so we can remember this amazing moment. So if you will, can you open your camera and we will take a screenshot for future events, please. Please, everyone who can take the screenshots and we'll get the better one.
We have men.
Yes, fortunately, we have men and
Yes.
women from all around.
Perfect.
Okay, is everyone ready? Big smile. Okay, did we get enough pics?
I really appreciate, Arabella, if you can share with us in the future this photo, please.
Yes, definitely. I just want to make sure that I took some, and our colleagues from who are managing the Zoom space took some as well. All right, if this is correct, we can wrap up for today, and thank you very much to everyone. Have a nice evening and a nice rest of the day. Muchas gracias.
Ciao.
Dziękujemy.
سپاسگزارم از
Gracias.
توجهتون.
Thank
Obrigada.
you.
Спасибо.
سپاسگزارم از توجهتون.
Merci.
مرسی.
Dankeschön.